What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Noluckadded podcast, the podcast for young entrepreneurs. Listen, man, I'm not going to waste no time. We're going to jump right into the episode, but I do need you to do me a favor. If the content in this episode, if it does anything for you, right? If it helps you in your business, if it helps you in your life, please share it out. Please leave a review and make sure that you subscribe. That's all I need. Let's jump to the episode. Great morning, great morning, great morning. What's going on? It is Monday, December 6th. We don't got that much time left in this year, y'all. We listen. We full steam ahead right now. Hold up. Let me hit this. What's going on? What's good? What's good? What's good? Great morning. Great morning. Listen, as usual, my energy is on a high. And we're going to get this thing cracking this morning. Welcome to the Noluckadded podcast, the number one podcast for young entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who are tired of being entrepreneurs. I got to add in that part. I'll be forgetting to add that in. Let me hit this record button and we can start, man. We can start it up. All right. So we're going to start with our mantra as usual, y'all. We're going to start with our mantra because I just believe that if we continue to speak this out and get this in our minds and get this in our spirit, that we can just attack every single day with everything that we got, with all our energy, right? With every single thing that we got within us. And it goes like this. God wants me to win. Yeah, I believe that, right? I truly believe that God wants me to win. And if God wants me to win, that means I lack nothing. That means I have everything that I need today. We're not worried about tomorrow. We ain't worried about yesterday. I got everything that I need today in order to win. Everything that I need. I don't lack nothing. Nothing. I got everything that I need in order to win today. So let's jump into the topic for today, y'all. I think it's very important, right? It's very important to have proper perspective, right? No matter what's going on in your life, it's very important to remind yourself of why you're on the journey, right? To remind yourself of what you're building, to remind yourself or what you're trying to obtain, to remind yourself of your goals, right? I think it's very important to remind ourselves of every single thing that we're trying to accomplish while we're on this journey. But it's very, very imperative that we remind ourselves that we signed up for every single piece of entrepreneurship, right? Every single piece, right? We signed up for it all. Right? We signed up for the good. We signed up for the bad. We signed up for the risk. We signed up for the reward. And I think it's very important that we continuously remind ourselves of that because sometimes we dive into things without fully understanding what it's going to take, right? Without fully understanding. And I get it because entrepreneurship and it's a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing. But entrepreneurship has been put on this pedestal, right? It's been put on this pedestal, and it should be. I believe that everybody should have their own economic system in some kind of way. You should be able to make money, even if you don't want to run a full-time business. You should know how to use your money to make money, right? I truly believe that. I truly believe that. But a lot of us, we dive into this entrepreneurship game not fully understanding all that it's going to take, right? Just to get to level one. Because I've only been in this thing. We've been almost 3 years. Almost 3 years full time in this game, right? So I'm not speaking from a 10-year perspective. But I'm just saying, even for level one, before I got out the military, y'all, I had weighed the cost. I knew that we could win big and I knew we could lose big. Like there was no naivete. You know what I'm saying? That's the vocabulary word of the day. There was no naivete at all on this journey. None. I knew we could win big and I knew we could lose big. I knew that we were taking a huge risk. I knew it. I knew that it was going to take some time for us to fully launch. Now, I didn't know how long, right? And there was some times where I got discouraged because it seemed like it was taking too long. But I knew that it was going to take that. I knew it. And if you hear any background noise right now, we packing up. We got packages going out, y'all. We in peak season right now. So that's the beautiful sound in the background right now, right? My wife is back here doing it up. Say what's up to the people. Hey. So I just think that we have to realize that we signed up for everything that comes with this journey. I remember when I was in the military, y'all. I remember every single time, like from the time that this is a constant in my military experience, right? Every single time that we would start getting discouraged, or we would start complaining about the process, or we would start complaining about some things that we had to do. We'll get some orders that we didn't want to do, right? Or we'll have some activities that we just didn't want to do, right? And I remember every single time we would do that, and our sergeants or our leadership would hear it, they would remind us, hey, you remember you signed up for this, right? You remember that. You remember you signed your name. Like, this is a volunteer thing. Like, you remember nobody forced you to sign up for this experience. Nobody forced you to be an entrepreneur. Nobody forced you to be a soldier. Nobody forced you. So if you chose to go down this path, understand everything that come with this path. Understand, yeah, you signed up for some days where you're going to feel depressed. Yep, you signed up for that too. Yeah, you signed up. I know we want to talk about the highs. I know we want to talk about the wins. I know we on Instagram, we on Facebook, we on YouTube right now. That's all we do. All we do is show the wins. But I'm going to be real with you. On this journey so far, these 3 years, I know for a fact I didn't take in more L's than I didn't got some wins. Now, the good thing is the wins outweigh the bads, but I didn't took some L's. But I remind myself, I signed up for that. It's a part of the journey. It's a part of the process. You can't skate past none of that. We signed up for it. As soon as we raised our hand and said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur, I'm going to start a business, we signed up for all the hell that come with it. You're going to have so many roadblocks. But that's what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is problem solving. So you have to be a problem solver to be a part of the journey, which means you're going to have problems. It's just a part of the journey. But we signed up for it. So we got to take every single thing that comes with it. Everything that comes with it. All the feelings, all the emotions, all the wins and all the losses. Like, I know in the reseller community, it's very popular to show your sales for the week and all that, but nobody shows the returns that they got, right? Nobody shows the chargebacks, the cancellations. Nobody shows those things, but that's a part of the process too. I promise you, y'all, like, we just had one of the best sales weeks. The last 2 weeks, we just had 2 of the best sales weeks that we've had in our business, right? Because like I said, we in peak season, we have planted the seeds, we got the inventory. I mean, things is happening. But with that, we still got cancellations. We still got people who want to return items. Oh, this didn't fit. Or this wasn't the same color I thought it was. It looked like this, and it was this. Like, there's just issues. There's just things. But I realized that we signed up for that too. I know all we want to pay attention to, the only thing that we really want to focus on is the wins. And the wins come. The wins are great. But here's the thing. We also got to understand that on the journey, most of the wins are going to come after you've been planting and planting and planting and planting years down the road. After you've been loyal to the process, after you've been committed to the process when nothing was there. That's when the consistency of the win. But in these early stages, you got to realize, you got to continue to remind yourself, this is what I signed up for. Nobody forced me to be an entrepreneur. Nobody forced me to start a business. So every single problem that I face, guess what? I got to embrace it because I'm the one. Listen, I created them by going on the path. I could have took the easy route. I could have took the comforting route. I could clearly see my destination when I was in the military. The military is very linear. right? It's you do this, you get this, you get here, this, and there's slots and all this different stuff. But if you're doing the right thing, if you can pass your PT test, if you can go through all the trainings and all those different things, guess what? It's very linear. It's bop, 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 bop. You can see your success. You can see yourself getting at least to an E6, an E7, and riding that out. I decided to take the unconventional route. I decided to go down a different path. So when I decided that, y'all, I had to weigh out everything. Oh, guess what? We could lose this. We can lose our house. We can lose, well, we owned our car, so we couldn't lose those, but we could lose. I knew that going in. And some of us were frustrated with the process right now because we didn't fully weigh it out. We didn't think about, oh, snap, what happens if if I have a low sales week? What happens if I have a month of a dip? What happens? What happens? And that's why a lot of us, we quit. We jump out the game. We jump in and out. We're in and out, in and out, in and out, because we're not fully committed to everything that comes with it. The risk, the reward. And the risk comes before the reward. The challenges comes before you solve the issue. And that's what entrepreneurship is. Like I said before, entrepreneurship is problem solving, which means you're going to have problems. And you're probably going to have more problems than wins in the beginning. I'll let that breathe for a minute. You're probably going to have more problems than wins in the beginning. You're probably going to have to find your way a little bit. I remember when we first started, I was so terrible. I was so terrible at the online sales process, because online sales, it's a really beautiful thing, because like you don't necessarily have to communicate face-to-face with a customer, right? Now you can run ads, run promo and all this stuff, but in the e-commerce space, it's really your product speaking for you, right? It's your product. They see your product and it has to be attractive. They see your product and the description has to be just right. The wording, the search engine optimization, all these things. I did not know none of this starting off. I was just taking pictures and listing them online, and I was having some success until we got to a certain point, and then I realized we got all this inventory and nothing was selling. So I had to figure out why it wasn't selling. Oh, my description is terrible. And I told this story before on this podcast, but there was a guy that reached out to me and just told me straight up, bro, you suck. Like, and I was like, hold on, bro. Like, are you trying to buy something or what? And he was trying to buy something that I had listed, but he was telling me the reason why he wasn't going to buy it. And then I found out that this dude was like a top tier eBay seller, right? Because I was open. Because when I got into the process, I knew it was going to be a learning curve. So I asked him, I said, hey, how do I fix these issues? Or what is it that you see that I can fix? And he was like, he gave me like 10 things I could fix. 10 things that I could fix off the top. He was just like, okay, you got to fix this. You got to fix this. You got to fix this. And that's what's going to help a customer want to buy from your store. I said, cool. I took the information and I applied the information. Because, like I said, I was open to everything that came with the journey, y'all. I knew it was going to be a learning curve. A lot of us, when we jump into business, we don't even fully understand how much of a learning curve is going to be to get to the point where customers trust us, to get to the point where we know how to attract the customer, to get to the point where we can trust ourselves. It all takes time. It all takes time, and it all takes effort, and it all takes energy. But we can't look at one side of entrepreneurship and just hang our hat right there. Oh man, because everybody's showing you they highlight reel. We just talking about the real right now, right? We just talking about the real right now. Everybody wants to show you they highlight reel, right? Nobody's showing you, like I said, the chargebacks. Nobody's showing you the cancellations. Nobody's showing you the bad reviews. Nobody's showing you that stuff. Nobody's showing you all the L's that they took. You're looking at someone's success highlight reel when you're looking on these pages. That's what you're looking at. That's what you're seeing. But the real is being dedicated to the process, even when it doesn't look the way you want it to look. That's the real. The real is understanding the risk with the reward, and honestly understanding that you're going to have to go through the trenches of the risk part or the failure part or the losses part before you can even get to that. Like I said, on this journey, y'all, we've taken more L's than we've had. Now the wins outweigh the L's, right? But if we just looking at the record, if we looking at the record, our record was probably like Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying? We was like 0-10. Then we got that one big win, right? But we took the L's, y'all, and we took every single one of them in stride. Why? Because before I even jumped in the game, I knew the risk. I knew the learning curve. I accepted it all. I knew that I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And a lot of times we think we know it all. It's cool. We just go into the journey. We just go into it. We just like, yep, I figure. Yeah, I know that already. I'm good on that. What? This whole thing is a learning process. I have customers and people reach out to me and say, yo, this product, the reason why I'm not buying this product is because of this, because of that. And I just, okay, cool. And fixed it all. Now we have a system that works. That system that we know that works. And here's the even deeper part to that. Even though we have a system that we know that works, we still could do better. We still can do more. So I learned this little tactic, right? I learned this little thing, and that's what I really spend my Mondays going over strategy, going over the numbers, rethinking the processes that got us to where we are, and how can we do better. So here's something that a lot of people don't talk about, right? So we know that during the pandemic, they printed more money than they printed like 40% of all the money that's ever been printed, right? So we knew that on the back end of that, if you know anything about economics, you know that's going to cause inflation to hyperinflation, right? So 2 years ago, we were buying shoes. I can get a pair of J's for $4.54 at a Goodwill, at a thrift store, right? Clean them up, list them up, boom. Profit margins out the wazoo. Profit margins are crazy. You know what I'm saying? The profit margins was nuts. 30, 35, 40, $50 profit margins, right? After the pandemic, the price has doubled. Yesterday's price is not today's price at all. Everything's up. Gas up, food's up. My whole inventory, like all the inventory. I used to be with $200, y'all. I used to be able to get like 50 pairs of shoes. Now I'm getting like 25. So here's the thing. You can either complain about it, or you can remember that you signed up for it and figure out a way to do better with what you got. This is what entrepreneurship is, y'all. I know you heard people say this word, pivot. We had to pivot like 10 times since everything opened back up. We've had to pivot 10 times, maybe more than that. And we're still pivoting. I'm still looking at ways that we can improve. So one thing that I had to do, y'all, is I had to learn how to rotate my inventory. On my online platforms, I had to learn how to rotate and sell some of the back catalog because we weren't able to get as many new pairs, and that slows down your sales. So I had to figure out a way to do that. Then I had to start running ads and doing promotions. And then I had to get better with my process of picking out inventory because we ain't getting 50 no more. So it's 20, 25, 30. Sometimes, if I can pour in, and this is weekly, right? So we usually do $300 a week into the business at the low. That's like we need to be really, that's like the low end. That's like the bare minimum. If I don't do 300 a week, we dang near failed for that week. But now I had to improve my process. I had to improve. I had to literally, like the inventory that we were getting, I had to literally go through and say, okay, I'm not going to get this pair. I'm going to get these because these are higher profit margins. I had to go back to the basics. I had to go back to the fundamentals. And sometimes when we have a level of success, any type of success, even on a small level, even small wins, it makes us so cocky that we forget that we got to go back to the fundamentals. We always got to go back to the fundamentals. We always got to go back to what got us there. And then we trim the fat. We trim the fat. We don't continue to do the things that didn't work. We're not going to do that. But that right there comes from what? That comes from us tracking the process. It comes from us writing things down, because honestly, you don't know what worked or didn't work if you're not measuring. You don't know. You're guessing at it at this point. And in business, if you're guessing, that ain't going to work out well for you. You got to know like you know, like you know. Like I can show you numbers from 90 days ago, 60 days ago, 30 days ago, and I can go back and see what worked and what didn't work. Every Monday, I write a business report. I can go back and I can see what worked and what didn't work. Or did that promotion work? Did those ads work? I don't know. Okay, let me go back and see. How many of my promoted listings sold? And this all comes with understanding the roller coaster that is entrepreneurship. I knew we were going to get the curveballs thrown at us like inflation. I was ahead of the curve. We raised our prices a year ago. We created a bundling model a year ago because I know whenever they print more money, inflation's coming on the back end of that. So guess what I got to do? I got to get ahead of inflation. And then I realized I was doing my research, right? I continue to read business books all the time. I'm always reading something about business every single day, listening to something about business. I realized that every business raises their prices to compete with inflation every single year. I didn't notice before. I didn't notice when I got into entrepreneurship. I didn't notice. That's why you got the iPhone that used to cost a certain amount, and now it costs thousands of dollars, $1,500. When it first came out, it didn't cost no $1,500. They're going up every single year, and then they trim the fat off, right? Now they're making you buy the accessories that used to come with it. Why are they doing that? Because they're competing with inflation. They're competing with other competitors. They're competing. Every time something goes up, I don't know if y'all pay attention. I'm deep in economics right now, right? I don't know if y'all paying attention to all like the containers and all this different stuff that's caught on the docks and all this stuff, and how some of these containers are like 10x the price. Guess what? Everything that you're buying is about to cost more because of that. So in business, we gotta know these things. We gotta be conscious of these things. Some of us still got the same price, and our price need to go up. You need to be like, listen, yesterday's price. And you don't got to raise it by nothing crazy, 5%. We raised ours, I think, by 5%. And people still buying. It didn't stop nobody from buying. But we had to compete. Why? We circling back to the topic. We circling back to why we even talking about this today. Because we got to take everything that comes with the journey, y'all. Everything. I know we just want the success. I know we just want the sales. I know that we want this, but what I just talked about is a silent killer in business. Your sales can be going up and your profit margins can be going down. Now, for some people, that won't be a problem. But for other people, if we went from selling 25 and now we're selling 50, but we're cashing out at the same rate, that ain't good. That's not good. So we got to understand these things. And when we understand, we got to know that there are blind spots. We have to know that. I know right now that there's something that I don't know. And that's what, listen, being smart is saying, I don't know nothing. Because I don't know what I don't know. And that's what's killing me. So there's something that I don't know right now that I got to figure out. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to figure what it is out. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to go back through my numbers. I'm going to find those gaps. I'm going to go back through my processes. I'm going to find those gaps. I'm going to go back through. I'm going to go back and look at my data and all these different, and I'm going to find these gaps. I'm going to find them. And if I don't find them, I'm going to find somebody to help me find them. I'm going to find somebody to help me find them. Why? Because I understand that entrepreneurship is a roller coaster. It's up, then it's down. It's up, then it's down. It's up, then it's down. And then years later down the road, after you've gone through this part, you will have this. But right now it's up and it's down. It's up and it's down. And we got to understand what's causing the dips, what's causing the highs. See, sometimes we be on them highs and we just be up there and we don't even know how we got there. We don't even know. We don't even fully understand what got us to the high. And if you don't know what got you to the high, you listen, the down is coming, the peaks and valleys. If you ain't never read that book, read the book called Peaks and Valleys by one of my favorite authors. I think, what's his name? Spencer Johnson, I believe. He's the same guy that wrote Who Moved My Cheese, right? And the 1 Minute Manager. Go read that book. There is always going to be peaks and valleys in life, period, but especially in entrepreneurship. And if when we scrolling on Instagram and Facebook, all you seeing is people's peaks. They're not showing you the valleys. Nobody's showing you the valley. Just know that. So while you go through and you comparing and you looking, oh man, this person's business is doing this. No, there's some things back in the back that you ain't seeing. There's some systems that need to be tightened up that you ain't seeing. So focus on yours and know what's causing the peaks and the valleys. Know what's causing them. And here's the crazy part. Here's the crazy part. There will be times in your business where you don't know you don't even know up from down, because growth looks weird sometimes. Growth don't always look like more sales. Sometimes growth is doing better with less. Sometimes growth is increasing your profit margins by 50 cents, 25 cents, 30 cents. Until it gets to that next dollar. We're talking about the inches right now. We're not talking about these big over crazy. Because I told you, any success that we've had so far, it ain't been no big splash. It's been incremental. Up, down, up, down, up. That's how it's been the entire time. The entire time. There has never been a time where just for 60 days, everything was up. It's never been like that. It's just like the stock market. One day it's up, one day it's down. One day it's up, one day it's down. It's volatile in the beginning. But guess what? You should know that before you start. You should know that before you begin. I knew it before I started, y'all. I spent years studying entrepreneurship before I ever got to this space of full-time entrepreneurship. I was studying every day. So I knew this ain't gonna be this is gonna be like this gonna be a battle. This is gonna be a real marathon. It's like an ultra marathon. It's a 100-mile race. You can come out them blocks just going crazy if you want to. Last week we talked about, or the week before, I believe, we talked about pace. Finding your pace. And that don't mean being slow or being methodical. That's not what that means. Finding your pace means that whenever season that you're in right now, understanding how long you can keep up a certain pace. We're not talking about retracting. We're just saying that in the beginning, there was a certain pace that we ran at. Now I laugh at that pace. That pace is laughable. But I also know that at the top of next year, I'm going to have to, January, I'm going to have to recalibrate my pace, because the pace that we're at right now is very fast. We're at a very fast pace. My wife was just in here at the beginning of the live. You were hearing the paper and all the boxes. Like everything is, we just running. We running right now. We sprinting. We're sprinting right now. But you can't sprint forever. You can't sprint forever. So at some point, we're going to have to sit down, and then we're going to have to readjust our pace. And we're going to have to say, okay, we need to speed up this part and keep this part steady. We need to speed up our systems and maybe hire another VA. Because one change from last year to this year, we've had a VA we got a VA that works with us every single day for this entire year, right? But in order for me to buy back a little bit more of my time, we're going to have to hire another VA to do the listing part. Because at some point, I'm not going to be able to do it all. And my wife is already busy with the back end, doing the packages and doing all that stuff. So we're going to have to bring in somebody for that. You got to understand every part that comes with this. Sometimes growth don't look like more money. I just told you we're going to have to eventually, probably top of the next year, we're going to have to spend money to make more money. So is that growth? Is that growth? I mean, my profit margins might go down a little bit. Growth looks different depending on the season and the goal. Depending on the season and the goal. Right now, like I said, we ain't getting 50, 60 pairs a week no more. It ain't happening, right? But we're still able to grow because I had to learn new tactics and new strategies. And when I sit down today, when I sit down and I go through everything that we did this week, what worked, what didn't work, I'm going to tell you exactly my formula for this, and then we're going to get off of this. The very first thing that I do is the numbers, right? I want to know what was our gross, what was our net, what was our expenses. I want to know all that, right? After that, I'm gonna log it in, and I'm gonna look at how we did last week. I'm gonna add the two together, right? So I'm gonna look at it from a 2-week viewpoint, because sometimes if we look at 1 week or 1 day, then we get discouraged. Oh, last week was such a bad week. This week was down. Let's look at it from a 2-week standpoint. Sometimes you want to look at it from a 30-day, depending on your business. After that, I'm gonna write my report. This week, this is what happened. Probably a paragraph or two, right? Then I'm gonna go through what works specific on the activity. First, I'm gonna do activity. What did I actually do? How many listens did I do? What did I do? Not what the business did. What did I do this week? Okay, I did this many photos. I did this. I did this. I did this. This many listens. After that, I'm gonna write down what worked. I got certain strategy in place right now. What about this strategy worked? Okay, this worked, this worked, this worked. Then I'm gonna write down what did not work. What did not work. That's what I'm gonna stop doing. Because sometimes it's not about what you're gonna do. Sometimes it's about what you're gonna stop doing. Some of us, we got too much stuff going on. We got 15 businesses. Some of this stuff we gotta stop doing and pour gas on something that is working. Right? So that's what I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna got on my list. This is what I'm going to stop doing. I'm no longer doing this thing. Then I'm gonna write down, what am I going to continue to do? This is my formula. This is my formula. This is what I'm going to continue to do, because this is what's working. How do I know it's working? Because I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at my results, and my results are telling me this is what's working. Then I'm going to write down the goal for the week. And then I'm going to write down my marching orders. Now, here's the difference between the two. The goal, you're setting an activity goal. This is how many pairs I'm going to do this week. This is how many pairs I like to do this week. All these different things. The marching order is how you're going to play offense. Right? How you're going to play offense. So for me, that looks like, okay, Mondays, I'm doing this thing. Tuesdays, I'm doing this thing. Wednesdays, I'm doing this thing. These are my marching orders. This is what I'm doing. No, I don't care what's going on Tuesday. This is what I'm doing in order to reach the goal. So I hope this helped today, y'all. I hope I gave y'all the formula. I broke it down today. You know what I'm saying? I gave y'all as much as I could possibly give today. So listen, I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I love for y'all to subscribe to the Noluckadded podcast, right? We're trying to grow this thing organically. I'm not running no ads. I'm not jumping in front of your face. I'm just going live. We doing our thing. Now, all my podcasts will not be live, right? Let me say that again. All the podcasts will not be live. I'm doing a few live during the week, but the podcast itself is not going to be live all the time. So you got to go subscribe to the Noluckadded podcast. No Luck, ADDED podcast, right? Subscribe to the YouTube as well. We're recording like on 3 different platforms right now. But the only thing that I want from y'all, I'm not trying to sell you nothing, right? I'm thankful to God that we got a business that we can work on the back end. I ain't got to sell y'all nothing. Now, if you want to buy something, you can click the link in my bio and you can buy something. But I'm not here to sell you nothing. Just go subscribe to the podcast, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.